here we go. I'm going to set this aside for right now. And we'll be able to know which one was gessoed because of the fact that it's on the back. This is covered, whereas this one is not. So, like I said, I'm going to pour them even. I've got titanium white, hunter's green with a little bit of primary yellow. This isn't yellow ochre, but it's, I forget what color Liquitex calls it. Then I have there's a text. I have a cerulean blue and a, I can't remember if this is ultramarine. I think this was the ultramarine. Yeah, that's ultramarine that I added a little white to lighten it up a little. And then I'm using unbleached titanium as my base color. Silicone in all of the colors. So if anybody asks, and I get that's about the consistency I like. So anyway, we're going to, these do not need much paint. That's one of the things that helps keep them from warping terribly. Like I said, they will not need much paint at all. May not have exactly the same amount of the colors in each cup, but I'm going to try to get them the cups to the same quantity of paint.
We went down there to make peace, and it seems to me we need to be honest with each other if we're going to fight together.
So we're probably getting there pretty quick here. I'll probably make just a tad over what I need, just to be sure. I haven't poured on these in a while, out of this cup especially. So it's a little harder for me to judge how much I might need. So, needless to say, so here's this. And I'll put this on. A little dab there. And I'm going to put another dash of green. So it'll be just a little bit. Now let's see if they're level. Pretty close if you can't see. Oops. So I have those all done. I'm listening to something on my, got TV, somebody go and watch TV in the background. That's this. Let that dry. And I have a thing on my phone I'm listening to, so kind of busy stuff going around here. Take another stir stick because I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Selling up. I don't think it's, don't know why I try that each time. Stir them both at the same time. So, I'm going to do a flip cup. Let it drain out. I guess I could be flipping the other one at the same time. And I'll let them dry overnight. Once they've most of the paint stripped off, I'll take them and set them over on something else so they don't lay in the paint. That's just the way I do it. It helps a little bit there. sure I had this on the, I have a tablecloth, I'm not sure. So we're going to pull it off. These have kind of become my favorite, and it's not even running at all. That tells me it's paint's thicker than I thought. Oh, that's okay. That won't hurt. Get the stick. I think it thickened up on me because when I first mixed it, it was fine. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and tilt. Nice soul forming. Let me, before I go much further, I'm going to, I don't know if you can see. It's sticky. Actually, I got stuff on my gloves when I was doing the resin. It's stuck to the side of that.
We're going to stay at least, find a nice quiet island, kill all the men, and take their wives for ourselves. We're done with all that. Who says we are? We are. She made a pledge. I'm going to find her. I'm going to set her free.
Like I said, a little thicker than I normally make it, even on for the canvas board. That thickened up before I was. Bet you the white, I think it was the white that thickened a little bit on me.
That's what you do best.
It's wanting to run though. May not be as pretty as some of my pours. Although I kind of like those swirls in the middle that have formed. Like I said, it doesn't hurt because when you're doing canvas boards, if it's a little thicker, that helps it a little bit. So I'm going to scrape this up, put some more up here, pick up my driftings. So we're sitting here and just pulling it. There we go. Pull some more this way. There we go. Main thing about this one was just to get it so we could tell, show somebody how I can keep them from warping a whole lot. Probably, I mean, I'm not going to swear to you, but I suspect it's because we tend to, a lot of us tend to use a lot of paint when we don't need it. Okay. Some paint back here I can pick up too, off the back. It's running, it's scraped, ran underneath. And no, I don't tape the edges on these or the back. There we go. And then I'm going to take it. I want to make sure the edges all got the little holes covered up, just like I normally do on a regular canvas. There's a hair, don't want to get that in there. Don't even know I'm shedding when I shed. So we're sitting here and I think the Game of Thrones is on in the other room. My voices are talking back here in the background. Sorry about that. Had to take care of something. I didn't touch the painting since then. But anyway, so it's completely spread around. All sides are touched and painted. In a few minutes here, I'll move it to a flat surface and set it aside to dry. It should dry overnight. So probably tomorrow evening I'll be able to demonstrate that and show you what's happened. Here's the one that's been gessoed. We're going to pull this off, maybe. There we go, and see it sticks too. Scrape this one out so I can get all the paint out of here. This one I'm going to put it over to the side. I will torch this one again here in a minute while I was thinking of it. Let this one torch it too, just a moment. Just to give it a little encouragement. It's not one of my favorite pours, but for the experiment I'm not going to worry about it. Make it do anything, try to add any ribbons or anything, like I said. We're going to run the torch over this just a little bit to make sure there's no excess bubbles. And then I'm getting ready to pour, or tilt. And it wants to stick to the cups. It doesn't want to flow, looks like it wants to flow a little easier over the gessoed canvas. This is a color I love. This one I may actually like by the time it gets done. I'm working here to try and keep some of it up here on the canvas. Instead of a corner catcher, I'm using my spatula. Put this up here to maybe help spread it. Oops, drip to drip. Spread it a little here. This corner. Over here a little bit more. Okay, and then we're going to pull it back down here. I never stay clean. I will not say that about painting when I paint with my pours. My hands are always dirty. As you see, I did make just enough paint. I should have made it a little thinner, like I was laughing a bit ago. So obviously I mixed the paint a little thicker. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it was my cream. I think or the titanium white. Didn't want to do a negative space on this because I don't think, well, the way I was going to do it tonight, I've done negative spaces on these. In fact, that's what the one I showed in the previous post. And as I keep getting it a little further, it'll get there at the same amount of paint. Get my hand out of, keep my hand out of the other one. I don't want to get into it too much. You just have to keep working and get quiet when I have to concentrate on getting this stuff spread over and around. That's just my tendency. I'm going to get the cup here and scrape a little more out of it. Off my hands. just to get the edges covered. Yeah, there's more paint in here. There's a bit. There's still enough that I can use it to do some more coating. As you see, it does take a little work when you get your paint a little bit too thick. But I don't think I got too thick of a layer on the canvas, that's for sure. It's just thick enough it doesn't want to run. And I just dropped that dab of paint that I needed up here. Dropped it over there on the paper plastic. What would we ever do without fingers, palette knives, and everything else we use to spread the paint? I just don't know, you know? We're, look at this one too. Yeah, there's some more down in this one too. Keep working here. Like I said, it really was just an experiment, but this one is the one I liked. I like what's going on in this pour. I can salvage it if I need to later too with other things. Because it's mainly the center that I love. Okay, now we're going to tilt this a little more to get it to spread, hopefully. Run a tad. As it sticks to the cups again. Sorry, I'm going to let you see the back side for the moment. So I'm trying to get the thing to run. I want some of this off that corner. Yeah, there's not a thick layer of paint on this, so I'm not too worried about it cracking. But I want to get this side to drop down too. I don't want that too much on that. Any more paint on my fingers I'm holding from the edge. Pretty fingers. Put paint back on where I possibly touched it off. Okay. It's not going to hurt even if there isn't any. I have spots on the edge because I know what I'm going to do with this if this really does turn out well. I'll come up with a way to camouflage those edges. So anyway, so now let me wipe my hands on my apron. Good reason why I wear an apron. Should wear gloves, shouldn't I? And I'm torching this one because there's just potential for a lot of stuff to go on here. Let's see. Look at that. That one I really like. Oh, this one started to develop quite a bit of cell work over here. This little torch puts out the tiniest flame and not tons of heat, so I do get it closer than what most people do probably. Bump that with my hand. Anyway, so we've got this done. They're poured. I will come back tomorrow. We'll check to see how much they bowed, flexed, or if either one of them has. and we'll show you how I fix it then. Thanks, have a great night. Okay, this is, going back to the canvas, this is a canvas I've done before. I'm going to attempt to do, but I scraped it, even though I kept up quite a bit of pigment, because I don't have another blank canvas. When I went back to check the canvases, these are not completely dry this morning, though. You can see there's no warping, either one. I suspect it was because I had used much thicker paint. So I've come back and I've thinned my paint. Consider that one's thickened up again. Actually, I don't think I got it as thin as the others. But I thinned my paint, and I'm going to use more of it because I want to show you how you can fix them if they do happen. There we go. They do happen to warp. So it's the same paint that I had last night. It's just thinned down. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use more this time. I'm going to pour in this tray so I can leave it just sit in that tray. And then it can just sit here pretty much all day. And hopefully it'll be pretty much dry tonight. So I can, let's put another shade in here first. So I can show you the comparison and stuff and what happens if you aren't careful. Shouldn't say careful. If you happen to get too wet a paint, or you get too thin a paint, too much paint in your canvas, on the canvas board warps. But you can do them without it warping. Obviously, I did. A little more paint in this. I swear that thickened up too. It's like in 10 seconds they thicken. But I wanted you guys to see me pour again. And see that I used quite a bit more paint. That's not quite a bit more, but let's add a little of this then. That I did use more paint, and that it's thinner, so that you can see the back of this is nasty already. So, but it's not sealed enough. I don't think that with that paint that it should stop it from absorbing too much paint or too much water. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to stir that just a couple times real quick. I'm going to do a flip cup. Let it sit for a moment. While it does that, I'm going to go ahead and put some lids on this. I reuse my paint. It's just something. I just got these little cans, so I don't have to mix up big bottles. There's some colors I mix big bottles, at least to get it to the basic consistency I know I like. Okay, it's starting to run out, so I'm just going to let it run. And inside the cup again is gorgeous. We're going to tilt. Yeah, this is much thinner than last night, so that's a good thing. And we'll do what I did with them the first time or two. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna lay it back down in here. Oh, I hate to do that. That's gorgeous, but I am gonna lay it back down so that it can do what happened the first time I did mine. Try to keep my hands somewhat clean, a little cleaner, so that when I go sign in to work here in a few minutes, they won't be totally nasty. Oh, heck with it. Just get them nasty. Yeah, see, there's more paint on this one this time. Not quite as easy to pick up this with the... There we go. Hopefully this paint doesn't act like gesso, and it'll allow it to do a little warping. Like I said, I want to show you, you can fix it. You can fix it. Easy to fix the warping as long as it's not bowed and curled up way high. I haven't had that problem, but I have had it want to curl up quite some. So we'll put that down there. I'll let it dry, and like I said, let's hope it warps a little bit for us. Put that flat so you can actually see how to fix it. So thanks, and I will tack this onto the other video and show you the video and pictures once this is done. I actually like this one. Hopefully it doesn't warp too bad. If it does. Okay, back to the boards, the canvas boards. Okay, this is pretty much dry. It's got some still to dry in here, but as you see, I don't know if you can see real well, it is warped. See? Okay, I don't let them dry completely before I try to flatten them. So I will take this and I just start pushing it the opposite way. Lay it flat, and as you see, I've got nothing, that's from earlier. Nothing's really coming off on my hands, so the edges are dry. And I just work it till it's back to a flat position. Okay? So it's flat. I periodically check it over the next few hours and day to make sure it's flat. If it isn't completely flat, I take and I just do the same exact thing. Now, I did find something interesting. You know, earlier today I said this was the gessoed one was flat. Well, when I came in just a little bit ago, I noticed, here, let me turn this way, that it really wasn't flat. So it did want to curve a little. So I took it and I'm just doing the same thing until it's flat. Now, the non-gessoed one, pretty much flat. So it's going to have to do with several factors, I'm pretty sure. This one, with it being so wet, as you see, the back side, of course, it already had some paint on it from a previous pour that I re-poured over. But as you see, it ended up with more paint underneath it. And if you recall, I had held these up out of the paint. This one I did not. So probably a couple tips I'm going to say that help with if you do use the canvas board. When you pour them, elevate them so that they aren't laying in the paint that you pour off or that drips off. Use a little thicker paint if you can. And then lay them somewhere flat on some very flat surface to dry. This one did not, like I said, I kind of did this one a little closer to more like what I did with the very first pour that I had, that I showed, that had been, it was a puddle pour, so it sat in the white paint that I had poured and that had been on the surface. I left it sit there, so it sat longer than a normal pour probably would with me, because I pour and I'm pretty quick with them. But I pour that one and then poured the puddles and I blew, and so it took a little longer, so it sat there. Probably absorbed more of the paint. That one is why probably it was actually probably, I'd say, a little more curved than that one was. Well, I hope this helps. I imagine the gesso would help also. You know, like I said, I only put one coat of gesso on it, maybe a second coat or third coat as the other lady had said. But anyway, let's hope this helps everybody. Understand what you can do and how you can flatten them. Like I said, you just don't want to get them super, super, super wet. Have a great evening. Thanks for watching.